Marcus and Diane moved into their first apartment together in Atlanta in their late 20s. Combined income, $89,000. They split the bills down the middle, kept separate checking accounts, and figured the wealth building would sort itself out once things settled down. 10 years later, combined income $124,000. They have $34,000 in retirement savings between them, $18,000 in credit card debt, and a recurring argument about money that neither of them can fully explain. They are not irresponsible. They are not spenders by any dramatic standard. They just never built a financial life together. 3 miles away, Kevin and Simone started with combined $81,000, less than Marcus and Diane. Same city, same cost of living, same era. By year 10, they had $190,000 in retirement accounts, a fully funded emergency reserve, and 0 credit card debt. They did not earn their way there. They did not inherit it. They built it together in a very specific way that most couples never stumble into by accident. Their teamwork created a foundation of financial stability and emotional security. My name is Zick, and what I am about to show you is not about budgeting apps or joint accounts or who pays which bill. It is about the 5 invisible dynamics that silently prevent most couples from building real wealth together. And the specific shift that separates the couples who do from the ones who spend a decade wondering why they are still stuck. Because the gap between Marcus and Diane and Kevin and Simone is not explained by income. It is explained by structure. And structure is something any couple can build starting this week. Rule 1. They are running 2 financial lives under one roof. This is the most common and the most expensive dynamic in modern couple finances, and almost nobody names it for what it is. Most couples split expenses and call that a financial partnership. It is not. Splitting a rent payment is logistics. Building wealth together requires something entirely different. It requires a single shared target. When Marcus and Diane split the bills, they each kept their remaining income in separate accounts and spent it according to their individual priorities. Marcus prioritized his car payment and occasional travel. Diane prioritized her wardrobe and dining out. Neither was reckless, but combined, their individual spending decisions consumed every dollar above their shared obligations. There was no capital left to build with, not because they earned too little, because they never decided together what they were building. A financial partnership is not 2 people sharing an address and a utility bill. It is 2 people aiming at the same target with coordinated resources. Without that shared target, even high-income couples bleed wealth, one individual decision at a time. Rule 2, 1 person carries the entire financial weight. In the overwhelming majority of couples, there is a financial manager and a financial avoider. One partner tracks the accounts, worries about the balances, initiates money conversations, and carries the cognitive and emotional weight of the household finances almost entirely alone. The other partner is largely disengaged, not out of malice, but out of discomfort, habit, or the quiet assumption that the other person has it handled. This dynamic feels manageable until it is not. The financial manager burns out, becomes resentful, or makes unilateral decisions that create conflict. The financial avoider remains uninformed, cannot contribute meaningfully to financial decisions. In Marcus and Diane's household, Diane was the financial manager. She knew exactly how much they owed, how little they had saved, and how tight the margin was every month. Marcus knew none of it. When Marcus bought a $1,200 set of golf clubs, it was not irresponsible from where he was standing. He genuinely did not know the full picture. Diane knew, and the resentment that followed had nothing to do with golf. It had everything to do with the weight she had been carrying alone for years. Wealth building requires 2 fully informed, fully engaged partners. Not 1 manager and 1 passenger. Rule 3, lifestyle inflation by committee. Here is a dynamic that sounds harmless and costs couples hundreds of thousands of dollars over a working lifetime. When income increases, most couples make spending decisions together. They agree on the nicer apartment. They agree on the car upgrade. They agree on the annual vacation that costs a little more than last year's. These decisions feel collaborative and reasonable because they are mutual. But here is what almost never happens by mutual agreement. The savings rate increase. Couples who allow lifestyle inflation to absorb every income increase while keeping their savings rate flat are making one of the most expensive decisions of their financial lives. If Marcus and Diane had simply committed to directing 50% of every raise into their investment accounts, their retirement balance would not be $34,000. It would be closer to $112,000. Same raises, same lifestyle improvements. A different rule about what happens first when income goes up. Couples who build wealth do not skip lifestyle upgrades. They upgrade savings before they upgrade lifestyle. Every single time income increases, savings rate moves first. Rule 4, no shared number means no shared finish line. If this is landing for you so far, take 2 seconds to hit the like button. It genuinely helps the channel, and it tells me to keep making content like this. Ask most couples what they are building toward financially, and you will get one of two answers. Either a vague aspiration, we want to be comfortable, we want to retire someday, we want to be okay, or two completely different specific answers that have never been reconciled with each other. Marcus's version of financial freedom was having $800,000 invested and retiring at 62. Diane's version was paying off the house early and having $400,000 by 60. These are not compatible plans. They require different savings rates, different investment strategies, and different decisions about housing. But Marcus and Diane had never compared notes. They each assumed they were broadly on the same page because they had never been on any specific page together. Kevin and Simone sat down in year 1 of living together and calculated a shared number. Their combined baseline expenses were $4,200 a month. Their PRT, the specific portfolio size their life required, worked out to $260,000. They wrote it down. They put it on a shared spreadsheet. And every financial decision they made for the next decade was evaluated against one question. Does this move us toward or away from $260,000? That question is the entire difference. Not income, not luck. A number that both people know, both people own, and both people use as a decision filter every single time. Rule 5, here is how couples who actually build wealth operate. They do 4 things that most couples never do, and they do them consistently across years, not just in the first month of a financial resolution. First, they hold a monthly money meeting, not a fight about bills. A structured 30-minute conversation where both partners look at the same numbers, current savings balance, monthly investment contributions, progress toward the shared target together. Both people informed, both people engaged, no financial manager and no financial avoider. Second, they automate the savings decision before either partner can spend the money. The investment contribution leaves the account on payday, not after discretionary spending. This removes the decision entirely and makes saving the default rather than the remainder. Third, they have a mutual agreement about income increases. Every raise, every bonus, every new income stream gets a predetermined split. A portion goes to lifestyle improvement, a fixed portion goes directly to the shared investment target. The split is decided in advance, not after the money arrives and temptation has already set in. Fourth, they revisit their shared number annually. Life changes, expenses shift, retirement timelines evolve. Couples who build wealth recalibrate their target every year to make sure they are still building toward their actual life, not a version of it that no longer exists. Here is what I want you and your partner to do this week. First, sit down together and answer one question honestly. Do we have a shared financial target that we both know, both believe in, and both use to make decisions? If the answer is no, that is your starting point. Not a budget, a target. Second, calculate your combined baseline monthly expenses, your true non-negotiables, and use that number to calculate your shared PREIT. Write that number down somewhere both of you can see it. Third, identify which partner is currently carrying more of the financial management weight. The other partner's assignment this week is to spend 1 hour getting fully informed, reviewing every account balance, every debt balance, every monthly contribution, not to take over, to become a genuine partner. Fourth, look at your last 3 income increases as a couple. Where did that additional money go? If the honest answer is that lifestyle absorbed most or all of it, decide together on a rule for the next raise. Fifth, schedule your first monthly money meeting. 30 minutes, both partners present, same numbers on the same screen. No blame, no shame. Just 2 people who have decided to run one financial life instead of 2. Marcus and Diane are not a cautionary tale about bad decisions. They are a cautionary tale about the absence of a structure that most couples are never taught to build. Nobody told them to calculate a shared number. Nobody told them both partners needed to be fully informed. Nobody told them that splitting bills was logistics, not a wealth-building strategy. Kevin and Simone did not figure this out because they were smarter. They figured it out because early on, someone gave them a framework. 2 people, 1 target, coordinated resources, and a monthly check-in to make sure they were still on course. That is the entire secret. It is not complicated. It is just specific. And specific is something any couple can become. Starting with 1 conversation this week, the only question is whether you have that conversation. Or spend another year running 2 separate financial lives that happen to share an address. I'm Carrie. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next.